And we are live. Let me check everything is running smoothly. A few questions rolling in, which I will get to. Couple watching. That's good. Just test the mic. 1 2 1 2. Couple watching. That's good. Right. We are all good. So, what I wanted to speak about on this specific stream is making your first $1,000 in pools. And on one hand, it is simple, and on one hand, it's not, because something a lot of people don't have is patience. Everyone wants a quick win, just like people want a 20x from their crypto. People want 120% APR straight away without knowing what they're doing. And when they don't get that, or they get less than they think, they leave after 2 weeks without actually giving anything time, understanding the market, where we are in price action, etc., etc. So in the last week, since last Tuesday's stream, a lot's down. But we have got quite a few things up, to be fair. A few shitcoins, to be fair. Aave, Atom, Asta, Zcash. A few more shitcoins. But generally, we've not had a good year, to be honest with you, in 2026. I mean, the last month, a lot of red. So that is kind of why, in my opinion, I should say why I am personally accumulating crypto. And I'm going to go into some testing that I've been doing with a few pools to have a look which ones I want to get in or potentially get in, and also have a look at what certain pools could actually be higher APR than others, but you have to test, because people jump in, get annoyed, leave, and then go on to the next thing, which is a common occurrence in crypto, or side hustles as well, should I say. So before we dive into questions, just going to recap what I spoke about before. This flywheel of doom that I showed on the last stream is pretty much everyone in crypto. Yeah. Buying BTC, selling it and losing money on it to buy ETH, selling it and losing money on it, because you always think that moving on to the next thing is going to get you more money. And then you round trip, and the average crypto holder, after doing all this, goes back to buying BTC in the first place. That's the unfortunate thing. I'm not going to go through the NPC versus normal person. We all know that. Hopefully there's no NPCs watching this. Enough of them. Now, this is an interesting strategy that I posted in the free chat that I've got. If you want to join the free chat, it's in the description. It is basically this here. You can access my DeFi playbook. You can chat, ask questions, share wins with other guys in the group. There's about 50 people in here now. Completely free to join. So if you are interested, just have a look in the description. But of course, if you want to find out more information, if you want to join the 10K Fast Track community, and Fast Track, that's why it's called that. If you want to fast track your way in the DeFi pools and join us, got a few masterminds this year. Guys are going to Koh Samui in a couple of weeks. There's a Vegas meetup and maybe a UK meetup later in the year as well. So anyway, back to this. Now, this is one strategy that you could potentially do. So if you have still got spare cash to DCA into your crypto, right? This is an example of a pool, a key to Ethereum pool. You could DCA into the pool, earn fees in that pool, then with the weekly profits from it, put it back into your crypto wallet. And that is stacking this crypto. Just an ongoing process over and over and over again, which is the idea of the liquidity pools and everything in DeFi, really. So if you want to start and make your first bit of yield in DeFi, what you need to do is you need to first decide what coins. And the idea is that you do not go on any of these protocols, whatever they are, and search for the highest APY, because that's just dumb. Because what most people will do is they will go on, they will buy a lot of shit coins that are in a shitcoin high APY pool that says something ridiculous like 1,000%, has really low volume. The coin or coins in that pool get rugged, and then you lose your money, and then you cry about it, right? So ideally, when I say what coins, it's ideally the coins that you have, right? Providing they're not shit. And again, I don't need to just tell you what is or what isn't shit, but if you were like, if you got coins up here, probably better, you know, historically, than going down here and all your coins are, you know, down here in market cap. Yeah, because if you're looking to monetize Rocket Pool, Plume, I don't know what these are, the game company, Peanut the Squirrel, if you're looking to monetize them, then it ain't going to work in my opinion, because I guarantee a lot of these charts, I don't know what this coin is, I'm going to look at it. They're just like that. And why you would want to accumulate more of this, I don't know, but people do. People do. You know, and it's literally most coin. I remember this coin. Engine, 2021 bull run. Price was, look at it up here, nearly, was it $4 all time high? $4.82. It's down 99.6%. Right? But I guarantee if you go on X, there'll be people accumulating this coin because they think it's going to be the future of whatever, you know, whatever thing you do. I mean, kudos to the guys if they're still working on this. Surely the website, there you go, the website's still there. It had its own marketplace, mobile wallet. Got all these members. But again, it's just an example of a coin that didn't do anything. And why you'd want to accumulate something like that, I don't know. But there's so many like it. So many like it. So the idea is, what coins should be what you've got in theory. So you may have some higher cap coins. Great. Well, the idea is, instead of hodling them for 2026, you don't have to use all of them as well. You don't have to use all of them. The idea is you yield them, get an APR on them because you're holding them anyway, so you may as well, and you get more of them. You know, just like this example here. This, you know, you may not have Keto, you may not have Ethereum. Yeah. Your coins in this DeFi pool could be XRP, could be Solana, could be USDC, it could be a Solana USD pool, could be an XRP USD pool, could have a BTC pool. But the idea is you're accumulating more of those assets because you'd be holding them anyway. Because if you look at overall in crypto, you only have to look at the Bitcoin chart. It's clear we had a bull run. Look at the rise. And this year, looking more likely to go sideways. So if it does, why not accumulate instead of just doing nothing like you did in 2025? Now, so if you want to start, that's the first thing. What coins? Hopefully your own. And then you need to decide what chains. And this can be dictated by, for example, what coins. So if you've got a lot of coins, for example, on Avalanche, you would then look for protocols on the Avalanche network. If you've got them on Ethereum, like lots of Ethereum-based coins, you may want to look at ones that are layer 2s because the fees will be lower. High fees on Ethereum. Yeah. A caveat as well to that is as long as you've got the base coin for it, you can go into majority of pools on that chain. So not to complicate it too much, if you've got, say, Binance coin, BNB, you can enter any pool on that chain with that coin. Doesn't have to be Binance coin. It can be stable coin, can be wrapped Bitcoin on the Binance Smart Chain, can be wrapped Ethereum, etc. So these two can go hand in hand. And the third one, which I'm going to show you what I've been doing, is testing. People enter pools, and the most common thing that comes up, and I sent an email out about this today, and it was basically saying, but the APR is wrong. I'm going to read it out. One of the main issues we find for guys in DeFi is they test a liquidity pool, notice the APR isn't as expected, and then after 3 days leave DeFi and go back to being a hodler. There are a number of reasons the APR is lower besides the usual, aka the weekend is always lower. That's a fact. Market sentiment, we know at the moment. So we've got all these things have come into play recently. Obviously, it's just been the weekend. Market sentiment is at the lowest it's ever been for a long time. So if you look at the good old fear and greed index, or extreme fear, so the volume will be a lot lower for whatever coin. And you've got to think as well for your coin or the pairs that you use in liquidity pools. Will there be good pairs if the coins go sideways and if they pump? So, BTC and ETH are obviously going to have the most. You may not want to get those coins. That's fine. You may want to monetize the coins you've got. So can you pair them with a stable coin, which will have more fees, or with an ETH or a BTC? There's many different stipulations that are available. Yeah. The main issue they face isn't actually, the other thing as well. So we've got market sentiment. We've also got weak pairing of assets. So you may have a pair together that just doesn't produce as much yield as stated. Or it could be a weak chain where people have left the chain and there's just not as many fees. And you can do all this research on the chains and what the total value locked is, etc., etc. DeFi tool is one of these where you can look at all the chains are here. You can see all the chains are here. So if you're like, is this a good chain? Is it not a good chain? What's the volume like? I've seen a pool on, and it's on this chain. Right, good. So the pool's on Solana. What's the volume? 6.5 billion locked. Right, good. What's the volume like? You can look at 24-hour volume. You can look at stablecoin market cap, the fees. All the data is there in front of you to research. Fees paid, oh, look, pump, is that maybe that's a good pairing? Do you know what I mean? All this can just be looked at. Tron, base, plasma, arbitrum, hyperliquid. There's all this info that you can find about these chains. If they're strong, if they're upcoming, if they're dead, if they've died out, is literally on here for you to actively look at, research, and manage yourself. There's so many. Yeah. So many that you can look at. Right? Let's go back to this. The main issue is not the APYs not being accurate. So remember, it's always an average based over 30 days. It's the fact that the person trying the specific pools hasn't done enough testing or given it enough time. So the dumbest thing to do, which is what people do, is 1, get a shitcoin pool. 2, start it on the weekend. 3, doesn't realize that we're in extreme phase, so the volume will be lower. And then guess what? By Monday, they started it on Sunday and the fees aren't high enough, so they quit and then they do something else. That's the dumbest thing to do. Right? So, test. Now, the idea of testing a pool does not have to be putting thousands and thousands in the pool. You do not have to do that, right? So if you ever watch these videos and you think I'm talking nonsense, if you look at the APRs and you want to test it yourself, test. So I'm going to show you what an example of this would be. So we've got here 3 identical pools, right? 1 farm, 2 pools, $100 in each. So I've put $100, one after the other in these pools. And what I've done, or what I'm doing, should I say, is I'm monitoring the rewards for each one. I'll monitor it for about a week or so. Then I'll make a decision which one I'm going to go in. Obviously, they can vary by pool, so one may overtake the other or whatever. But then I'll enter the one that I feel is better. So you can see here, the highest APR pool, this one, is saying daily rewards 46 cents, right? So far it's earned 14.5 cents. But the one that's supposed to earn less is actually earned more, 15.7 cents. And what was actually funny is I checked this at lunchtime, and this one was actually earning more, so this 94% one. So it's very interesting to see, what each one is earning as time goes on. And they've also got different pool fees as well. These are cheaper. This is more expensive. Yeah. So there's a lot going on here. And instead of diving in, you need to test. Then when you're happy, you can then go in it. Once you're in the pool, then you're in the pool and commit to it. Give it a few months. And providing you're not in shit coins, the pool should be all right. Then if you go out of range, then you can go into the second bit, which is your strategy for your ranges. Do you slightly cover the range? Do you do a separate one underneath or above? That goes into the next strategy. But first of all, this is how you start. This is how we get it set up. Right? I'm going to answer some questions because this will tie into a lot of what we're going to be going through today. So, do you recommend VFAT? Yeah, so this is the platform now. This is VFAT, okay? Make sure it is vfat.io that you're using. Yeah? Make sure you're using that. Because you can click on dodgy links, unfortunately. That is the thing. And again, if this is all confusing you, you want to fast track your learning, I'll put a little post in the chat. And Here you go. If you want to book a call, join the community. So yeah, VFAT has a lot on it, but it's not the only one. Yeah. The other large one for Solana is Orca, for example. And Orca, you can't really use Solana because of the type of chain that it is. It's not an EVM chain on VFAT. VFAT has a lot of the others. And it's kind of like an aggregator. So VFAT is not the actual platform. It's like a third-party interface. So, you know, it may use pools from Uniswap, from PancakeSwap, for example, from Aerodrome. There is another couple that I'll just show you as well. So there's this one, which is for SUI. So if you've got SUI and you want to monetize that, this is one. I'll just give you a tip for SUI. Do not go on this yield strategy here. This will get you wrecked. I did this about 3 years ago and I lost a lot of SUI. And what this basically does is it auto balances for you. But because it auto balances, you just consistently get in permanent loss. It's stupid. I don't know why they do it. This is shit. So don't use automated rebalance. Don't do it. It will rinse. So anywhere that you see, in my opinion, auto balancing, auto rebalancing, just don't use it because it'll just automatically sell stuff. It'll automatically set new ranges and it'll just screw you over. It's just not worth it. Not worth it. And then another one is this one. This is Shadow. And this is another one here. This is a lesser known one, to be fair. But there's still things with, you know, 500k total value locked. And again, it just depends what coins you have, to be honest with you. Just depends what you have. So I would go on the next one. I'm looking to put some money into wrapped ETH USDT, wrapped BTC USDT pools, APYs of 150% with wide ranges. Would you recommend any more pools? I mean, it's your crypto, man. So, you know, if that's the crypto you have or you want, i.e. Ethereum, BTC, and stablecoin, go ahead. But again, it's like the stablecoin that you earn from that, you can swap for whatever you want, theoretically. Do you know what I mean? The only thing I'd say with a BTC pool is you're not going to get an ROI near other coins. You're just not going to get it. You're still obviously going to get it more than just staking your crypto or a shitty savings account. You're going to get more, but it's not going to be as good. So maybe you would consider using some of the stablecoin you get from one of your pools to just swap for BTC. Maybe that would be a different strategy. But again, I don't know. You may have mostly BTC. Want to monetize it? So yeah. What price will XRP be this year? I mean, again, I'm not a. The thing is, nobody knows. So anyone that answers this question is an idiot because nobody knows, right? There's so many of these guys on X or YouTube or whatever it is. if you put it in, is it XRP Army? See, it's just stuff like this. It's just shit. This is just like slop. And this here. Look at this. This is just shit. This is just bullshit. But again, yeah, the idea is, right, the idea isn't the same as all the other moon boys. It isn't oh, this coin's going to go to this coin's going to go to that. The idea is, it's like, right, you've done the research into the coins that you like, you've bought those coins, and the idea is, instead of you holding the coins and doing nothing in 2026, or them going sideways, which is potentially what may happen this year, it's a combination, isn't it? It's either attaining more of those coins, or it's attaining more of those coins and earning passive income from them. So, you know, if you had, let's just say XRP example for this guy, you could monetize your XRP in a pool, right? Say you had it in an XRP stablecoin pool, you accumulate more XRP and you accumulate the stablecoin, and then you use the stablecoin to spend on what you want. That's a joint strategy, you know? Do you keep your coins when you're selling LPs, or is it more like passive income? So again, that's up to you. One thing I showed before is an option is this here. Where's it gone? It's got all it's got all drawing on it now. Yeah, so this is, you know, a simple kind of way of playing it. You DCA in monthly, so you DeFi pool. I mean, you don't have to DCA into it. This is just if you want to DCA. You could skip that bit and just run the pool. You run your pool. That should say profits, which I've deleted by accident. And then you can either reinvest those profits and harvest them. You can either reinvest them and compound them back into the pool. So let's just say you start with, I don't know, let's just say 10K. And let's just say you earn 1K a month, 10% a month in this particular pool, right? So you got 1K a month there. Going back in, you know, the price of this is obviously going to fluctuate because this is the price of your assets. So it would fluctuate anyway, is something that people need to keep in mind. So let's just say this is a, I don't know, Solana USDC pool, right? Your Solana would fluctuate, but, you know, the profits from it, you can compound, or you can just take them straight out back into your crypto wallet. And obviously, up to them what you do. Build up your hodl bag, or just spend it. You know, that's the beauty of it. Do one thing one month, do one thing the other month. You need something to buy with your 1K, then do it. That's the beauty of it, I suppose. Orca is a bit shy at the moment on my Sol pool, but my Turbo Super pools are printing. This is the thing as well. People get like just so impatient, you know. So it's like this is a really good example. So you could have, let's just say, I don't know, your portfolio of crypto is, let's just say it's Solana, ETH, and let's just see what this guy had here, Sui, right? Let's just say this is your portfolio. And you could have a Solana pool. You could have, so you could have Solana one. Let's just say USDC, ETH. Let's just say they're all stablecoin pools. And you could have, let's just say this is Feb. And let's just get so for example, and this is how it can change, and people just get so impatient and then leave. It's like, if you want to do it for 2026, just give it time, man. Right, so let's say you have 3 pools set up with your crypto, right? This is your bag. This is what you want to put into the liquidity pools, yeah? So in Feb, let's just say this pool prints the most. And let's just say you have equal amounts. Then this pool prints this, and this pool prints that, right? But then the next month, and of course, there's loads of different variables. Is your pool in range? Have you got more than one in the particular asset? Is the volume higher on one coin? Is one coin pumping more than the other? So it's like this in the next month may not earn as much, but this ETH one could go crazy. In that month. And then this Sui one, they did nothing in Feb. Guess what? It's printing all this in March. So this is what people don't have the patience for, because what they'll probably do with this is they'll get impatient. And they'll be like, well, that's not earning enough, so I'm going to put it in that. That's not earning enough, so I'm going to put it all in that. Then they get to March and that doesn't earn enough, so then they go back into this one. And it's just the new flywheel of doom, but in a different way. You know? No. Anything you deposit, you'll get out. But you've got to understand that if you enter a pool, and let's just go on the example of, let's get rid of that. If you go on the example of Solana, USDC, and it's on a scale with a price, when it goes up, I always forget the right way on this. It goes up, it should sell into USDC. If it goes down, it should sell into Solana. Yeah. But you got to think anyway, you were holding Solana anyway. And the idea is to keep it in range long. And then if it is slightly lower, the value when coming out, if you do take it out of the pool, you printed enough fees to cover it anyway, but you don't lose all of them at all. Are you still running pools? Yes, I've got one pool on Orca. I don't really show it that much anymore because it's just easier because everything's on VFAT. So at the moment, yeah, I'm just testing these 3 on VFAT at the moment. And I've still got my Kita, by the way. I just exited that pool. Didn't think it was decent. And I'm just testing out the ETH ones at the moment to go into. Correct, late workout. Yeah, so and that's the main thing how people lose money, because if you're just round tripping in DeFi as well, you're just grinding your money down. Because if you think about it, what happens is you go from this pool to this pool to the next pool. Then you just keep going back round and round and round and round. Just the actual money that you've got is just slowly grinding down because of fees, because of rebalancing, and it's just never going to get anywhere. So it's just worth the time to just test everything. It's just worth that time. And that's what we say to the guys in the group when they join, It's like just start with a small amount. Look at the coins that you've got and then just slowly test the pools, see which ones are working, and then scale it up. Because you can see, I can go on here, and once this has been running for like a week, for example, and I know it'll fluctuate, but I can say once this has been running for a week, I know that I've deposited $100 and I can see what it's earned in that week. And then I know that if I put in $1,000, what it's going to be in a week, roughly. Put $10,000, what it's going to be in a week. You just scale it up, Because for this one, it's saying, $100. If we put it on monthly, just to see it a bit easier. So you can see, roughly $100 deposit. It's saying $9.53. This one $9.32. This one $6.77. And if you notice, the APYs actually dropped in that live, so it always averages out. And this is why you test it. And then, like I said, you can scale it up. So, it's projecting $1,000, $93 a month, $10,000, $930 a month. But obviously, Ethereum is going to generate slightly lower fees than, for example, SUI, like this guy was saying. You're going to get more on SUI, lower market cap, more volatility. But if this guy's got if he's got SUI, then he's monetizing it instead of just holding it and it doing nothing. Do you need to deposit your coin? And no, you don't. You just need to deposit whatever chain the coin is on. Yeah, so people are asking for stablecoin ones. So, if you looked, so if we looked at USDC, always be aware that they do fluctuate slightly. And these will change. So this looks ridiculous. 122% on stable coins. Just see how this changes. See there, you change it very slightly and it changes. Because if you look, if I can bring up a chart, there is a very slight fluctuation with them. Can you see how there's a very slight fluctuation with the stablecoin pairings? So if we go back to this, let me just refresh. So I think that is the range on here. 1.0044. Oh no, 1.00050. So it's basically there and 1. Oh no. 1.00040, 1.0050. So this is what you got to do as well, just to thing it. 1.0050. Yeah. So that's correct. 1.0040. See, you can. So this is when it's earning those fees. So this is is this the weekly? Let's go on the daily. So you can see every day it has hit this, but it has fluctuated outside it. Now, obviously, part of the day today is wicked down slightly or wicked up slightly there, but the majority of the last 3 days it's been in it, you know? But again, like I said, the best thing to do is test. So if you were looking at this and you thought, right, I'm going to test a stablecoin pairing, I don't know how it'll behave because I don't know exactly how long it's going to be in per day, but it's given 122%, right? So it's like, right, test it, you know, $100 in this. You could test it alongside the other pools, to be honest. Put $100 in this, test it along the others. And you can obviously, you know, there's a filter on here on VFAT where you can filter between the chains that you want. And this goes back to here where you can look at the data for each chain, the volume, the total value locked. And the protocols that they use, maybe you don't like certain ones. And you can see whichever protocol it's on, how well that's doing. So, for example, Pancake Swap, Aerodrome. So go back to here. Oh. Pancake Swap, 2 billion locked on that. And then you can search Aerodrome, 340 million locked, and you can see the trajectory of it. I'm a big Sui believer. It's important you understand the chain and the asset you're holding. Yeah, this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing. When you're looking through stuff on here, and you see all these colors, and you see all these different chains, if you are looking at some of these APRs, APYs, and you're thinking, right, I want to get into this, for example, but it's on Katana chain. If you do not understand that, if you don't know what the hell it is, don't get into it. Don't get into it. This guy likes Sui, likes the Sui chain, so therefore he's using it. The same with, you know, Solana and Orca. You like the Solana chain, you like some of the coins, great. Use that. And the big thing with VFAT is quite a few of the chains on here are layer 2s. So it's like, do you like Monad chain? Do you know what Monad chain is? Do you like Base? Do you know what it is? Do you know what Hyperliquid is? Do you know what Lisk is? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what Swell chain is? Do you know what BNB is? Because if you don't know about it, then it's a bit dumb getting into it, you know? Hi, new here from the UK. What site is it you're using? So this specific site that I'm using now is Orca. So Orca is for Solana. There's different sites. So Orca is for Solana. Turbos is one for Sui. So, for example, Turbos and Orca are the actual protocols that are being used. VFAT is an aggregator of a lot of them, but not Solana and not Sui because they're not EVM chains. EVM chains are ones that are usually Ethereum type based. Not all of them. Obviously, you've got Avalanche and BNB, but they're more compatible with different wallets like Arbitrum, Monad, Optimism, blah, blah, blah. So if you've got coins on these chains, use them. If you've got coins on Solana, you've got Orca. If you've got coins on Turbos, you've got Turbo. On Sui, you've got Turbos, and vice versa. But you can search a couple of things to find out what protocols there are. You got DeFi Llama, got them all listed here per chain. And then obviously you've got VFAT that aggregates them all. But again, if you've got a coin that's not on the chains that are used here, then you can't use VFAT. You'll have to do like a bridge across. And if you don't know what the hell I'm on about, link in description. There's a free DeFi PDF to break it down and a chat as well in a little free chat I've got. Do, 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 do. So just to clarify, so APY is compounded, APR is not compounded. And the average APR is usually yearly. So when it shows it here, like for example, it says 122% APR, that's over a year. Anywhere that you ever see APY is obviously compounded. But you've got to think that although it says this is the APR, they can be slightly lower. But again, if you're compounding, you may get to that rate. Everything's testing. How long should you run a trial before you get an accurate APR? My trials post-print for the first few hours and seem to stop for long periods. Depends on what the pools are and the volume. The volume for the particular pair that you have. Because if that dries up, then the fees will dry up. I'd give it, 7 to 10 days. But again, you've got to be aware of market conditions. So it's like if we're looking at this, it's obviously going to be less fees. So you just got to always take it into consideration. So you could test this week. We could be in extreme fear. Volume really low, not as many fees. But then next week, it could be higher. Any upside or downside movement means lots of trading. And when there's lots of trading, there's more fees and there's more yield earned on your crypto. But again, it depends on the pairs that you're testing. Because if it's two altcoin pairs that are quite low in market cap, people probably won't be trading that in extreme fear. They're probably trading, if anything, high market cap coins that are maybe paired with a stable coin. Because think about it, people are getting into the stable coins or maybe getting out the stable coins to DCA into these higher cap coins, which is generally what people do in dips. They're either buying the dip or they're selling, but they usually sell stables and they usually buy from stables. That's why high cap coins, in my opinion, is what I'm focusing on. So yeah, if you want to fast track what we're on about today, you want us to hold your hand, you can book a call. If not, you can try everything yourself for free, obviously. Go at your own pace. The information is there for you. I hope I provided some value. And yeah, if you've got any last questions, give me them now. If not, I'm going to shoot off. I'm going to give it a minute. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. Nothing else? If you get anything from this stream, it would be just up your testing. Don't get disheartened. And I know people do, because they go two ways. They see the APR, they start, planning the Lambo again, just like they did when they thought the coin was going to do 20x. They put too much in, doesn't make enough, and then they take it out and then forget about it. And it's like, start slowly and go from there. Yeah. Ask quick. Yeah, free call, book it. We'll tell you about the group. If you don't want to join, fair enough. Quick VFAT question. Give me the question. Good chat. Thank you. Are you going to give me the question? And one thing I get asked as well is, what's the difference between a farm and a pool? A farm, you'll get a token from whatever protocol is being used. So for example, if we go over to these, I've got 2 pools testing and 1 farm testing. The farm that's testing is on PancakeSwap. So I'm earning from this pool ETH, USDC, and Cake, which is the token out of PancakeSwap. So I'm earning 3 tokens in a pool instead of 2 tokens. Sorry, 3 tokens in a farm instead of 2 tokens in a pool. It's just an average. But the thing is, with an average, you're always going to get lower as well. You're always going to get lower. It isn't guesswork. But like I said, the best thing you can do is test it yourself and work it out. It sometimes can work out lower. Sometimes can just go crazy, because the problem is there's a lot of fluctuation over a month. If you think in a month, right, especially in a volatile market like crypto, you're going to have days where there is low volume, nothing happening. I mentioned weekends, I mentioned downturns, extreme fear, etc. But some days it just goes crazy in crypto. If you think in a 30-day period, and that 30-day period is obviously factored into the average that it's showing on screen. So if you join at a time when everything's going crazy, you're thinking, I'm earning double the APR. But if you're joining or testing when there's extreme fear or whatever, then you're on the back end of that average. But it's all automated. This average goes up and down all the time. This was 96% before this. It's 85 now. But then tomorrow it could be higher. That's just the way it happens. That's it from me today anyway. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be back for more live streams soon. But yeah, good chat with you guys, and I'll see you very soon.